What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia Season 4. Yo. Yo. If any of y'all were disappointed or pissed off at the use of stills back when we on Toguta's episode 2 weeks back, bones rectified in your eyes for this episode, man. Like, yo, the music, that animation. Now, you guys know me. You guys know how much I love this series. And my boy IzuGOAT is top trending thing here in the States right now, which, props to my boy. Oh, man. It makes me almost shed a tear because I'm so proud of him. But anyway, this episode was hot, man. This episode was lit. The music was epically choice. The art, the animation, yo, did you see them consecutive normal punches IzuGOAT threw at the end of the episode? Bruh. Eri? Oh boy, your boy got some things to say about her, and you guys might see me divulge a little bit into some ideas I got. If your walker really was connected to the Marvel Universe, because I got some ideas with Eri and who she is, what she is, and her quirk, which not technically really a quirk, but we'll talk more about that later on in the video. But yo, this episode was without doubt the best episode of the franchise. I don't see anything else topping this episode until maybe some major shit happens in the Endeavor Redemption arc, which is going to be the next major arc after Overhaul. I don't know if it's the next arc, right? I don't know if it's the next arc we're going to see in Season 4. That's going to be some stuff saved for Season 5. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Like I mentioned before, I'm an anime only. I just know a handful of things from the manga. But with this episode, your boy is back to being officially an anime only. Like, yes, I know a couple things in the manga. Like, I know, of course, the next major arc is going to be the Endeavor Redemption arc. I know a couple of the extra arcs are going to come after that. That I know there's like this little cute moment between IzuGOAT and Todoroki's sister that's going to be hyped to watch when that get animated, probably in like Season 5, maybe even Season 6. But besides that, but in terms of knowing like major shit, like I knew here with this arc with IzuGOAT, going 100% one for all with Eri on his back. Kirishima going unbreakable, and the stuff with Sir Nidai, his quirk and his ability and why he doesn't use to check the distant future. I don't know anything like that. In terms of major shit, I'm an anime only again. Which, hey. So, yeah, man. Like, this episode was something else, man. And, my God, man. Like, Horikoshi, my dude. My man Horikoshi. Yeah. Which, man. I mean, this series is hype. I don't know what we're going to see next, the next big arc. I don't know if that is going to be the Endeavor Redemption, which if it is, Lord help us all. If the Endeavor Redemption arc is the next arc we're going to see in Season 4, because we might see it's like the main arc that are going to be promoting for Season 5, I think, from when I was talking to one of my friends, one of my friends who's a manga reader. If that's the case, if you are not already embarrassed to be a Hero Waka fan because of the fucking fandom, you're never going to want to leave your house when that arc gets animated. I'll just tell y'all that. And Horikoshi might get ran off of Twitter if what happened with the manga readers didn't go on. But when the anime only get a hold of him, Lord help us all. We're going to need to put Horikoshi's going to have to pretty much not touch Twitter while that arc's getting animated. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. Without enough me rambling jibber jabber, although you guys might want to sit back, relax, grab yourself some popcorn, because I'm pretty sure this review is going to end up being one of the longer ones, like maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. So definitely grab yourself some popcorn if you haven't already, and let's just discuss stuff, so man, because yo, this shit was fucking lit, bro. So we start this episode off with Uraraka and the rest of the girls. They're taking care of the other guy. Once we get back, see them. They already got the dude taken care of. All's good. And I believe it was Uraraka comments out, man, his bark was way worse than his bite, apparently. And they say his name, and his quirk is apparently where he can... the dude's quirk is essentially force drain, He can take the light, he can suck up the life force of people he touches. And that's his quirk. So they're telling him, get him out of here before he regains consciousness. But then Ryukyu comments, okay, we gotta start, but let's go have and help out Sir Nidai and the others. So they go over there, do that. Uraraka and Subo fall to the ground. And they're like, oh god, they feel very, dazed, confused, woozy. We find out the dude's actually sucking up their life energy, and then Ryukyu's like, wait, how is he having sucking up their life energy when they've never touched him? And so then we found that he has the quirk enhancement drug that from Overhaul, which is speaking of Overhaul. Fun fact: I literally just found out about his English voice actor, Kellen Jeff, I believe is how you say his name. I was actually watching this. I was scrolling through the Deku hashtag, which I don't like the fact that it's that IzuGOAT's trending by the hashtag Deku, because I'm like, it's not his real name. It's IzuGOAT. Like, it's legit starting to aggravate how many people call him Deku instead of IzuGOAT. I'm like, it's not his goddamn name. It's IzuGOAT, but whatever. I digress. I was looking at the hashtag. Saw this like little interview that a bunch of the VAs had. It was Justin Briner, J. Michael Tatum, Justin Cook, and Kellen. All had this interview, this panel they did at LA Comic Con, and they asked him what are your personal heroes. Now I didn't watch the whole thing, just watched a little bit while I was waiting for my laptop to charge up before I started recording the review. He actually said that it was his dad that was his hero because he's actually eye functioning autistic. Which when I heard that he's autistic, I was like, hey bro, welcome to the club! Because you guys know me, I mentioned this before in other videos that I too am autistic. I suffer from autism, or from Asperger's since I was like 6, I think. So yeah, so if I didn't love Overhaul enough, I love him even more now with that little fun fact. But anyway, back to the episode. I just thought that was cool. Like, hey, what's up, brother? But anyway, so the quirk enhancement drug takes effect with him, starts sucking up Uraraka's life energy. Nejire comes in there, which we also get the whole Nejire, her quirk shock, or whatever it was. Which didn't we get this already earlier on in the series? I could have sworn we got this whole thing with Nejire sooner, but I guess we didn't. Anyway, so they play into her quirk that she takes some life energy and fires it off as energy. And for some reason it twirls, so it doesn't have much speed. So she fires off at this guy, and then dude's like, "Oh man, it must have worn off." Which I'm like, how did it wear off that quickly? Because the one with Mimic. Now, granted, they could have 2 separate drugs on them. Maybe he took his sooner. I don't know, because or maybe they had 2 different drugs. Maybe he had like the fake, like the non-perfect ones, while Mimic had the more perfect, the more what's the word I'm looking for? More refined quirk drug. The more refined one, I guess, because his lasted for 2 or 3 episodes. That one lasted, and we saw what he did. This dude only has it for 5 minutes. No, not even that. 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes in the context of the story. I'm not sure. So I don't know why it wore off that quickly. But whatever the case may be, it wore off, and then he says, "Let me get," and I forget exactly what he said, but he said something super perverted. He's like, "Let me get," I think he said, "Let me feel," I think he said "Let me fill you up, cutie pie," something along those lines, man. And then it's like, ew, and then so you hear no's and ews and all that stuff before they finally, before Uraraka gets in there and Ryuko starts fighting her off in her dragon form. Uraraka comes in there, touches him, he sends off in the air. Sue wraps him around her tongue, and then then Izuku comes in there, which I'm like, wait a damn moment. How was Izuku above ground when he was underground when we last saw the episode? And that's when Uraraka and the other came out. So what the hell is this? I assume that this was probably Toga. So she tells me, hey, they're over here. We know we gotta go over there. So Uraraka and the others follow him. They fall down going to the underground, which of course is where the actual Izuku is. And Uraraka's like, wait, Deku? But then who was the one we were talking to earlier? Which of course was revealed to be obviously Toga. They're there with I forget the dude's name, the magician dude, the guy that can turn people into little balls. They find out what they did was that they pretty much had him turn them all into balls while they were going through the underground so that they could escape and get out of the underground. Which is when Toga transformed into Izuku and sent Uraraka over to where they are. So and then they put the doppelganger, because they send the dude in there, the Mr. whatever his name is. They send him down into the lion's den over there. Now he's a clone or a copy of him, so it's not the real one, but they still just throw him in there for whatever reason. And they also say, you guys know how the heroes say plus ultra? Toga actually says plus chaos. Doesn't have the same ring to it, if you ask me, but that's just me. So they come down, so they get down there. Uraraka and these others are already down there. Izuku goes after goes after Eri. Uraraka and the others knows Mr. Sir Night-Eye. How the man is still alive when he has this giant spike through his fucking stomach? How is this man not dead? Surely that had to have punctured his lungs, his liver. That had to puncture, all of his internal organs, maybe minus his heart. How the man is still alive it's a different story, but whatever the case may be, Sir Night-Eye is still breathing for the moment. Do I think he's going to live? It wouldn't surprise me if he dies. I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me. Because those are some serious injuries that man has there, like, but hey, whatever. So, Izuku goes after Eri. Eri, of course, overall sends up like this, takes like this little area where Eri is, where Eri is, and like throws like and makes it like and turns it upward like a platform to keep her away from Izuku. So while Izuku is trying to capture Eri and and Overhaul is just firing off different platforms to keep putting distance between them. It's like, oh, you pieces of garbage. And then one of the rocks actually shows up is Togata's cape. And, he's like, oh, that got put up too. Filthy. And we then get to Eri. Now, and Eri sees this. Then we get and then we see, like, kind of floating in the air, and like, the background's black and white, and looked at me, it's like, whoever directed this episode, I think deserves a fucking raise at Studio Bones, if you ask me. But, around here, we really start to get what Eri's quirk is. We find now Chizuki goes over, flashback to when he was with the leader of the Shie site guy, and we find out a little bit more about what we saw in the ED, and we kind of like be able to put the pieces together a little bit. Which I guess means the ED was kind of a spoiler, which I guess was kind of a spoiler, but I guess it kind of was that, but anyway. So, and I got a lot to say about this. So, he tells her that, oh, you know my daughter, right? Chizuki's like, yeah. That's her daughter, and which is something I completely forgot to mention last week in my review. So apologies on that. I don't know how I missed that one, and like that's just a huge oversight on my part. So excuse me for that. We find out that Eri is indeed the leader of the Shihei Saikai's granddaughter. So Overhaul wasn't completely lying when he said that was his daughter. He wasn't completely lying, which is something I don't even know how I forgot to mention that, but I did. So forgive me on that one. So we find out that Eri is indeed her daughter, and that she pretty much abandoned Eri, saying that she is cursed. My husband disappeared. She's cursed. That's what she said. Now we find out what happened. You guys saw this. You guys remember in the ED where we see like this body, where we see like just some clothes spattered around, like some coffee on the floor, and Eri's just kind of sitting there in a doorway. We kind of get the context for that. With Eri, she's inside the doorway, or that her father wants to try to go touch her, but instead he kind of pretty much just vanished into thin air, just like that. And that's when he says that a power manifests in her. It's not a curse. She is not cursed, but it's a power. But it's a power not from either side of the family. It's called a mutation. Remember that. Remember he says a mutation, because I got something to say. He says that it's also extreme. That it's extremely rare, and that she doesn't know how to use it. She doesn't know how to control it, and that she doesn't even know what happens when she uses it. She has no control over her power. And he says, you look over at Chizuki since you have similar quirks to her, and you'll look after her while you're at it. Investigate her quirk. So he does that, and he says, and then we see kind of him do like some experiments on like some rats or mice, whatever it was. And he says, similar to my quirk, preposterous. This is nothing like reconstruction or this is nothing like rebuilding or reconstruction. I forget the exact word he said, but he was like, it's nothing like destroying or reconstructing, like which is what Overhaul can do. It's on a completely different level. Because when we see the rats, we see them fully grown rats, then we see them turn into baby rats. Or mice, or whatever. And then, they vanish from thin air. And then, they vanish from thin air. And that Eri, and so then we do some experiments on Eri. That's when we find out why she has bandages. Now, it's not so much from the rewinding ability, at least to what I thought it was, where Overhaul like, oh, that's probably just his cable management is in her arms, that's what they're covered up. No. He actually cuts up her arms, which I'm assuming lets all the blood. And now, the way they obviously don't really show it actually going with the skin, because obviously they can't show that shit. They said it's like pretty much like a black screen with a syringe going through it, or a scalpel going through it. We see a scalpel, and then you see it open up, but then close right back up, kind of like Wolverine's healing factor. And we see that her quirk is, or her quirk, I'm putting that in quotations, is that she has the power to rewind. Now, when Horikoshi's using the phrasing that he did, calling it a mutation, and saying that it's extremely rare, he's pretty much telling you without saying it because he can for legal reasons, is that Aerie's a mutant. Aerie is indeed a mutant. She is the first mutant in My Hero Academia. Now she's like, oh Glenn, this isn't Marvel, why are you calling her a mutant? Look at her. Look at her power, and just look at the way Horikoshi phrased it. She's a mutant. She doesn't have quirk genes, she has the X gene. Like, the fact that he said it's extremely rare, and it's a mutation that just screams X-Men to me. He's pretty relevant, and we know Horikoshi's a massive Marvel fan, and we know that this Airwalk is essentially Japanese X-Men. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility for Horikoshi trying to get away with, like, the legal shit by doing this and saying that, oh yeah, by the way, Aerie's low-key a mutant. You know? Like, and forgive me, I'm about to go sort of super nerdy on you guys and just like tell you guys like, because you guys know me, I've kind of made my thing around here when I talk here walking to bring it back to compare and contrast it and bring it back with the Marvel universe. You guys know me. In fact, some of my better videos I post out are always those Marvel Hero Walking videos, crossover videos I do. You know. So allow me to just give you guys some more ideas. So if any Marvel execs, Disney execs, Kevin Feige, if anybody's watching this, please, they want to turn this into a comic, a movie, a manga, a goddamn anime special. Take my ideas, please. Just give me a crossover between these two because it would work. I feel like Horikoshi himself even wants the Marvel crossover just as much as I do for two reasons. One, just because we all know Horikoshi's a massive Marvel fanboy, and that I'm sure if Disney came at his door and said, "Hey, dude, we want to do a Hero Walk crossover," he would say yes instantly. And two, probably because he knows it would work it would work very easily, seamlessly, just as much as I do. I've done videos comparing it, just like when I did that whole video about what if Hero Walk was brought to the X-Men I did 2 years ago when season 3 was airing. I said, 2 years ago, might have been last year. Yeah, 2 years ago. That all Horikoshi would have to do is, or Marvel would have to do, is just connect them. Just say like they're like a mutation of the X gene, and bam, and that's how quirks can come to be. Because let me just get full on there. Now I'm going to do some explaining here because I know none of you guys read the comics. So, and I like as soon as I saw this with Aerie, this idea literally just popped in my head. So what if, let's say Hero Walk and Marvel are in the same universe. We'll go with the comics because this kind of works with there because, Krakoa isn't in the movies yet. So, in House of X and Powers of 10, the latest new runs of X-Men, which has pretty much been like a soft reboot of the X-Men franchise within the realm of within the comic books, which is how I got into the X-Men comics. I've been doing a lot of comic rants and the new X-Men books, which none of you guys watch, because none of you guys watch it. But anyway. So what happened in that book, with mutants pretty much with just giving you guys the clip notes, mutants, Charles Xavier are pretty much done with mankind's bullshit. So they start up a new nation called Krakoa, the island nation of Krakoa, and they're pretty much just trying to live in peace, away from mankind, away from all that shit, and live by themselves. That's pretty much the basic gist of what Krakoa is and why it got started up. And they have all these other rules, so what if Aerie is indeed a mutant? Like, I would love to see, after they get revealed this, Charles Xavier, Magneto, probably also Apocalypse, because those are like the big three guys of Krakoa. Whenever they have to do political stuff about there, usually those three are always there, maybe with Cyclops there as security, So they come in there, they meet up with like some of the heroes from here, and maybe even go into maybe it was maybe have Principal Netsu there as well because from some of the covers I've seen in the manga volumes later on, Aerie pretty much just sticks around UA. It looks like. So they all kind of like debate and discuss what should be done with Aerie. Like, Charles and, the X-Men wants to take her to the island nation of Krakoa because, since she's a mutant, she would obviously be a citizen of Krakoa. They take her over there and they just, raise her, teach her how to use her powers, etc., etc., etc. Go from there. The guys over at UA and the Heroes of Japan are like, nah, man, let's leave her here, keep her with her peers instead of you guys isolating her off on some island, So they debate for a bit, But then they finally reach a compromise where Charles suggests that, we'll leave her in UA, but why don't you guys, but let us have one of our own, teach her how to teach her to better use her quirk, for her powers, or her mutant powers. And for this one, I would suggest Rogue, because her powers are similar, she can suck people's life force, she can, rewind time, which is pretty much similar enough to where I think Rogue could at least give her a decent idea how to control it, because, we know how long it took Rogue to finally control her powers if you guys are fans of the comics. So, Yeah. That's my little idea. Marvel, Disney, please take my ideas and make it into a comic, a film, a TV series. I don't care. Just give me a goddamn Hero Walker Marvel crossover. I just gave you so many. I just gave you literally probably one of the best ideas to get these two series together, and this would work beautifully. Do it. So anyway, I literally just had to give you guys that idea because it was stuck in my head. I gotta get this out on something. So there you go. I think that'll work really well too, having them discuss on what to do there. Because like I mentioned before, Hiro, she's pretty much telling you that she's immune. She's pretty much telling you and if I had to guess, she'd probably be Omega level. Because, Omega level mutants are mutants that have like near unlimited amount of potential with their powers. Guys like Apocalypse, Magneto, Reed Richards' kid who can like legitimately control universes. Yeah, the kid's pretty overpowered. And, a few others. So my theory is that Horikoshi is using Eri as a bridge between Shueisha and Disney to strike a deal for the Marvel Hero Walker crossover. Could this just be the ramblings and conspiracy theories of a Marvel fanboy that just wants to Hero Walker with go into the MCU or just crossover Marvel? Or is Horikoshi planting seeds for a possible crossover that he knows is hopefully forthcoming? I don't know. I'll let y'all be the judge of that. But enough of me rambling on about the MCU and Hero Walker being a part of the Marvel Universe. Let's get back to the episode itself. I'm sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I just had to get that off my chest. So anyway, after we get the whole flashback, which we see her arms regrowing, he says that she has the power to rewind. Which, I gotta say, from what we see, it is a pretty OP ability, and my theory was completely off the mark with it, because I mentioned this before in my earlier reviews, that I thought Ares' power, because I kept saying, my theory was correct. My theory is correct, because of, we saw all these quirk enhancement drugs, they're using Ares' blood to make them. I always thought, in effect, that Izuku goes 100% one for all, and, suffers no damage from it, or no, distinct death, like he usually does, his bones aren't breaking or anything. I thought that meant that her power is quirk enhancement. She can make she can send people's quirks into overdrive. Nope. She has the power to rewind, which was the complete exact opposite of what I thought it was. Because I thought that was her quirk for the longest time. As soon as I saw that picture with her and Izuku, I thought that's her quirk. But I literally it being able to rewind time, man, I was off the mark. But it's a good thing I was, because I was surprised by this, because I was surprised by it. But anyway. So, Eri comes jumping past after she grabs Togata's cape. She kind of rushes right past Overhaul, which ends up separating him and Nemeto, whatever. They separate those two back into their separate people, not, as one being. So she's sitting there by the cliffside, and she's like, they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. Which I gotta say, Eri's Japanese voice actress is great, but my god, her English VA, man, my god, that woman is on another level. I finished right before I started watching the episode. I went back and watched the dub episode of Flash, after you guys will see the reactions for either today or tomorrow. My god, Eri's English voice actress, man, she is on another level, man. The way she voices Eri and how she says, that shit hit hard before when I was watching it, but watching with the English dub, my god, it hits even harder, man, with the English dub, man. I love the dub cast. But anyway, so she's sitting there by the cliff. So she's sitting there by the cliffside. Izuku is jumping from rocks, trying to get up, stretching his arms out, trying to get hold of Eri, and she's like, they're not gonna stop. They're not going to stop until I'm saved. Izuku, Togata, they're not going to stop until I'm saved and, I'm away from this place and I'm away from danger. Even if it costs their lives, they will not stop. So then Ares just like, you know what? Fuck you, Overhaul. She obviously doesn't say that. She's like, fuck you, Overhaul. And ends up, saying that, I'm going with them. I got to go with them. Got to let them save me. And go back into his kind arms. She's obviously mentions about Izuku. So she jumps off the cliff and I'm assuming she's trying to use Togata's cape as a parachute. I'm assuming, but she doesn't holding it from either end, so it doesn't really work that way. She just kind of has her arms extended out, which makes it look like she's trying to use it as a parachute. But anyway, so she falls to the ground. We then see that from Izuku's perspective. This shit was hitting different, man. Man was legit getting chills watching this, man. Because when I saw this scene, they were playing the vocal version of Yusei Run, which was actually off the movie 2 soundtrack, which I believe is going to come out later this year. If it hasn't already come out, I think it's already out. I think it's already out in Japan, but it has yet to come out here in the States. As far as I know, I might be wrong on that. But I listened to the track from someone posted on Twitter. my god, it sounded. But then when you actually hear it with the animation with this scene, man, like I don't know what they use it for in movie 2, but here in this episode, bro, this shit was hidden, man. Like the emotion, the music, the vocals. My god, the vocals for that track are fucking beautiful to begin with. My god, but when you see that with Izuku being like, anytime, you know, he's like stretching out, it's like never again. I won't let her. I let her go once. Save her, Izuku Midori. I'm just like, bro. Like it was like that shit was hitting, man. It was hitting hard. And then the music, and then the music starts up very low. But then once Eri jumps into Izuku's arms, she's hugging him tightly. The music, they just ramp up the music, and man, bro, your boy felt it. Your boy felt it right in the feels. It just made that scene so much more epic than it already was. I don't give a shit what the hell you think about Hero Walking Away, but this is GOAT shit, man. Like, this is when Izuku just got goated at this moment, man. So he grabs Eri, and then Overhaul's like, give her back. And he's firing up all these spikes towards Izuku. He's trying to dodge it, but he can only do so much in midair. But then he fires up one for all, and then my man's just like, fuck your spikes, and starts kicking them all over the place. He's using one for all. Animation was godlike as always. You expect nothing less from Studio Bones, but this was just them warming up. This was just Bones warming up. They were like, alright. The animators were like, alright, man. Alright, now I'm warmed up. This scene was them warming up. Once we get to the second half, when Izuku goes up to 100%, that's when Bones wasn't fucking playing, man. That's when they went all out, boys. So Izuku just jumps right through the air. All his spikes just break up and part from the wind. And next time we see Izuku, he's just standing in the air. He's holding air. He's like, how am I this high? Because of course he's only used up to like 20% one for all. He should be getting this level height. This is like All Might level height what he does. And so he starts freaking out a bit. He's like, oh shit, did I use 100% of one for all? And then he's like, wait, my bones are breaking. But he lands, puts Eri down, and he's like, so this is your power, isn't it? And before we get back and go back with Eri and Izuku, which this is when the episode starts to get really fucking crazy. Before that, we see Uraraka after Izuku makes a huge jump, talks over with Uraraka and the others, and they're like, and Sir Night, and she's like, whoa, what's happening? And then Sir Night tells her about Izuku as well as Chisaki, who he's still standing somehow. How he is after that, I don't know, but he's still standing. And he tells her that that Izuku's gonna die, that he's going to go up to the surface, kill off Izuku, and get away. That's the plan. That's what they're about. Uraraka, obviously, after hearing this news, rushes into action. I love the way that her eyes were animated. Like when she hears the news, like that shocked expression when she hears that the man of her life, that the love of her life, Izuku, the guy she has a massive crush on, is. Oh man, I can't wait for those two to finally get together. Anyway. The look in her eyes and the shock in her eyes was excellently done. So whoever animated that shot right there of Uraraka's eyes, I tip my hat to you, good sir. So she goes in there, but she obviously, since for the injury, she ends up just falling down to the ground. She's like, what? I want to help, but I can't move. It was very much like what happened in the sports festival when she wanted to go and keep fighting, but her body was like, bitch, I'm done. So she falls to the ground. Sir Knight's like, you can't stop it. You just can't. Ryukyu tries to get involved, but she's like, even in your condition, you can't stop it, even if you tried. So we see him grab with a big guy, that Ryukyu and Uraraka were fighting. Grabs him, and they end up deconstructing him. He also deconstructs and reconstructs his arm, which the way it was animated looks really, really cool. Where it just kind of pops, or just kind of blows up for a bit, and then reconstructs. The way it was drawn and animated just looked really cool to me, man. That's just me personally. So he heads back up to the surface in this giant new form. Drops down Izuku, which I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but whoever directed this episode deserves a fucking raise. Like during that whole section with Izuku and Eri, they had this part where they showed a flashbacks. Like there was one shot of Eri, walking away, like her back was turned. Then the other one, then there was a side shot from the episode last week where she was like pleading with Overhaul that if I go with fix everybody up. The way it was shot, man. The way this episode was shot, the cinematography, the direction, mixed with that music, man. My God, this episode was on a whole other fucking level, man. This episode was epic. So anyway, back to Izuku. Izuku comes charging in there. He grabs Aries. He puts Aries down, and the look on her face when she looks like she's trying super hard. Tries to run. It just looks super cute, man. That's just me. She was like, it looked like she was like trying really hard. That's like her like little horn thing, which I'm assuming that's where her power is. Where her power comes out is her horn. Which I was always kind of wondering, what the hell is that horn there for? Was it just something her parents had? But it looks like that's connected to her quirk or her quirk. Quirk I put in quotations, but whatever. So he says that and also he also says that Eri. He also says Eri, you not. And overall also says Eri, you naughty girl. You belong to me. Which we're gonna talk about the way he talks about Eri and the way he. When he talks about Eri, the way he does it, and the way he says it. We'll talk more about that in a second because of what happens later on in the episode between the old man and Chisaki back in the past. We'll talk more about that and the way Overhaul talks about Eri in a second. So he's like, you belong to me, that's when he transforms. So he says that she has no, and then, he's like, is this your power? He says, like, she can't control. Spikes come out, or like the ground starts shaking, it comes right towards her. Izuku obviously grabs her, puts her away, and then we find more about her powers, and that she has the ability, which we never actually got President Mike saying, Eri, her quick, rewind. We never actually got that in this episode, surprisingly. Like, overall, I mean, I guess because overall explains, but still. We usually have it because maybe we'll see the whole full-on discussion of it next week. I don't know, the whole full-on, Eri, you're quick, that, probably next week. But anyway, Izuku grabs her and gets her out of the way. Overall tells her that she has the power to rewind, and that if you're not careful, and depending on how you use it, she has the power to just rewind humans back into apes, And that if you're not careful, you will be completely annihilated. And he says that your quirk is cursed. And Izuku mentions, and then that your quirk is cursed, and that if you don't want to get annihilated, give her back to me. And then Izuku ties Eri up to his back with Togata's cape, and she says that you rewound my body before I broke my leg, before I even felt the pain, and which is how her quirk works, because she can rewind. And he says, Eri, your quirk is such a blessing. Which, in a weird way, it is both. In a way, it's a blessing because she can work pretty much as like Wolverine. She pretty much can give people a healing factor almost. with the way she can rewind time. We also see, which makes me think that the reason she has bandages on is probably because of how many times because I'm assuming that what they do with Eri or with overall does to Eri is that he cuts up her arms and they reconstruct. Cuts them up again, reconstruct, until she can't reconstruct them anymore because she just uses up her power too much. That's when he just deconstructs her and rebuilds her, or restarts, as he says it. I'm assuming that's how her quirk works, how these experiments were, to pretty much push her quirk to the maximum so that the power it can get is equal to that. Like as we saw from Aizawa back in season 3, he mentions that the best way to enhance your quirk, at least on short notes or something, is to constantly to strengthen your body, is to constantly keep tearing your muscles and have them rebuild themselves stronger than they were before. So I'm assuming Overhaul was using the same logic with this. And so I'm assuming that the reason Eri always has bandages on is either because there's some really deep scarring there, or like I mentioned before, it's Overhaul's cable management is in there. Because every time we see him cut something, bandages cover that body. We see it cut something again, we see it cover one of her legs. So we can probably get that there's either a heavy scar in there, or that's where all the black marks are, and Overhaul's cable management is. It's one of those two options. I'm assuming it's probably scarring. So anyway. So he tells her overall. So it's a blessing, which is brilliant, which it is. Like I mentioned before, can either work as a healing effect, but it can also be a curse because if she's not careful, she can turn people back into nothingness or back into monkeys. Depending on how it works. So it really is both. It's like she's like if Rogue had Wolverine's healing factor. That's essentially what Eri is, essentially, in a way. And by this point, Eri starts kind of crying on Izuku's shoulder a bit, which I didn't even mention. When Izuku was holding Eri while they were flying through the air, Eri looks at him, and Izuku has this huge smile on his face, just like what Togata did when he saved her and he lost his quirk. I love these two, man. I love these characters. So then my man Izuku, he realizes that he knows the speed of what her body is, so that if he keeps injuring himself, with doing great injuries, like i.e. using one for all 100%, which realistically his body would be fucked at this point, if he uses that one for all, he'll constantly keep breaking his bones so much that Ares' power will only have enough time to reconstruct those bones, reconstruct his arms, reconstruct his legs so he doesn't feel the pain, instead of, say, maybe reconstructing those serious injuries he has, the scarring on his right arm and his left hand, I think it was. Those, or worse, turning Izuku back into a child and then into nothingness. That's my theory, and that's what would happen if Izuku wasn't, constantly breaking his arms and legs from using one for all 100%, which is what he does. So he charged up, and my god, that shot of Izuku when he's charged up, man, I saw the page for that. That was like the final page of one of the chapters, man, and excuse me. I saw this at the end of one of the chapters. I saw this this page swirling around the internet. I think I saw it from one of Chibi's videos. I can't remember where I first saw it, but man, ever since I saw the page, I was hyped to see an anime. And seeing it get anime, man, it was cooler than I expected, man. It looked so badass. The guys over at Sumo, whoever animated that shot, deserves a fucking raise and a promotion. Okay, maybe not promotion, but, that man deserves a good raise, because, that was the moment I was most anticipated for Season 4, man. Was that moment where Izuku uses one for all, full calorie, 100%. I was waiting for that moment, and seeing it animated, it looked fucking beautiful, man. Goddamn breathtaking, if you ask me. So Izuku charges up. He charges towards Overhaul, and he just comes in there. He just kicks the dude, and he just kicks him right inside of that area he is in, where half of his body is, and the rest of it. So the other guy, he just kicks him, sends him flying into the air. We see Toga being like, "Holy shit, dang Izuku!" And we also see Uraraka holding up Sir Night-Eye, holding her breath as she floats upward to get him back to an ambulance to get him fixed up. So anyway, after my man Izuku just sends Overhaul right into the air, we're using 100% of one for all, does some extra kicks and just does some other kicks midair. Looks absolutely beautiful, man. Then we get another flashback with Overhaul. This is when we really find out what happened with Overhaul, what happened to the old man, why is he bedridden. We learn it all, man. We learn it all. So the old man tells, "So, I heard you were in a bit of a fight earlier." He's like, "I just laid out some chump who was moving in our territory. Our name recognition has been falling lately. We need to set an example. We need to set an example to let them know who's boss." And he says, "I know you started a new rack, which I'm assuming that's like those that group of the Shiei Saikai, those guys that always wear the crow masks, without my proof." He says, "I told you not to get involved in drugs. Look, I appreciate that you're trying to help, that you're trying to repay me for taking you in, but dude, you always go too far, man." And so, get a little fast forwarding. He's like, "No." He says, "Ideals are not going to change the tide. Why can't he see that?" And then Chrono over there says, "Well, it does seem divorced from reason that the Yakuza." I think he said the Yakuza isn't running the underworld. And so from there so then later on we see him switching off from that little black face mask he's wearing to of course his crow mask, which I love the look of that mask. Comes in there and go back to that dirty little lab he has, and he starts explaining his idea with Eri and his plan. Making the quark destruction drug, send the unfinished project first. Let them get a whiff of it. Let them get it in. Let them want more of it. Let them, and then let them become irresistible once we get to the full flesh product. The ones that's worth, which are the ones that he fired up now, which of course is the one he used on Tokuto. And then, so he's going to send those off to the villains. Send up those quark destruction bullets. Then, on the other hand, he's going to sell the serums. He's going to dangle the serums right in front of them to, of course, even make them more problem. He's going to sell the quark destruction drugs all the way over to the criminals. Was going to give the cures to the heroes. And he's going on. He's getting, and you can tell it's you can tell in this dude's voice that the dude's actually really getting excited about telling the story about we're gonna run a monopoly with this shit, man. Ares' power is going to be epic, man. Using it to further our ideas. Notice how he's always referring to Ares as if she's a product, something to be used, not a person. Keep that in mind. He also says that right before Izuku charged in and sent them in the air, he said, you don't know how to exploit you don't know how to exploit a person or a product like Ares. Remember that. And so then once we get back to where he is now, where he's telling this to the old man, he's like, "Dude, she's a person. Does that not mean anything to you? And the look on his face, man, that was a look of a man that is shocked, and the look of a man that looks like he's staring at a demon. Which, remember that's what he said like, a couple episodes back, where he said, no one is going to follow a demon or with no soul into battle or into war or whatever. Which we found out that's wrong because he has this whole little group around him, but the look on his face proved it all about him being, looking like a demon. So then Overhaul then goes in there, takes off his glove, and then does whatever he does to make him bedridden. I'm assuming he's comatose, just sends him into a coma, and that he says he's gonna bring him back once everything's in full swing. Now this whole section right here is very true with, like I mentioned before, with Aerie, because Overhaul throughout this entire series has never once really referred to Aerie as a person. Okay, it's time to restart her. You can't exploit a person or a product like Aerie, and just the way he describes his plan, with him having to use Aerie to get there. Remember, his whole product starts with Aerie's blood and her quirk to get to where it is now. He never refers to Aerie as if she's a person. He always refers to her as if she is, just that, a product, an export, something to be used, Which is very true, and the way that the leader of the Shia Sakai looks at him, like, bro, she's a person, for God's sakes. Does that not mean anything? Do you not have a soul? It's very true to how the Yakuza is in real life, from what I know. Now, I am no expert on the Yakuza, but from the little bits and pieces I know of the Yakuza from some other stuff, the Yakuza is very different from, like, a typical gang. Sure, you got your typical gangs that are, sure it is a gang and they do illegal shit, drugs, I think they even do, like, human trafficking, disintegrating bodies with sulfuric acid, murders, the typical shit you do with normal gangs, like, say, the Mexican cartel, the Italian mafia, the whole thing, the whole shebang. But the Yakuza is different, because the Yakuza are guys that, I think, like, if I remember correctly, most of them going off is from what I remember from the videos Super Eye Patch Wolf did on the Yakuza video game franchise, is that the Yakuza does, like, go out there and help other people in Japan, but, they do have, like, a code. Like an honor system, like, we're not going to do this, and this, and this, we'll do this, and this, but we were not going to go and cross these lines, of other, like, stuff that is, like, super heinous stuff, i.e., stuff like, experimenting on a little girl for quirk destruction bullets, like is what Overhaul is doing. And I thought the way Horikoshi did that, showing out the two sides of the Yakuza, I guess you could say, you got Shihei, you got Chisaki, a guy that all he cares about, he says he's looking at the bigger picture, and all he cares about is getting what he does right, no matter the cost. And he always keeps saying, "Do not stray from my path." No one is going to follow, or don't go straight far past, because you will lose your humanity, and no one will follow a demon with no heart. Stuff like that. That's nice way. Chisaki is someone that will obviously he will sell. Chisaki is the type of guy that will sell out his fucking mother to if it means getting what he wants. That's the person Chisaki is. The guy that leaves the Shia Sasuke is not like that. He is someone that, well, yes, he does all these heinous shit that crime bosses do, and he even says, "I told you not to get involved in drugs," so it makes it seem like they don't get involved, or at least the Shia Saikai part of the Yakuza here in Hiroaka does not get involved with that kind of stuff. It makes you, well, he does, sure, I'm sure he does, like, he sends out hits, does other gang-related shit, but he's not going to do anything to the extreme, or stuff that will mean one person losing their humanity, i.e., stuff like Aerie, because that's his granddaughter, for God's sakes. To him, that's still family. You don't fuck with family. We all know that if you've seen any mafia movies, you don't fuck with family. So yeah, overall, I thought that was a really nice little way of them tying in all the stuff with Aerie and the Shia Saikai, and just top of the Yakuza, right? Because the Yakuza is definitely a very fascinating gang group, gangs out there. They're pretty fascinating when you see the stuff they do, what they have done for the people of Japan, the way the people of Japan view them, actually. It's pretty interesting stuff. And I really like the way Horikoshi brought it up here with Chisaki and the guy that leads Shia Saikai. I thought that was some pretty cool stuff. So, let's get to the end of the episode, and then we can end this review. So my man I'm just gonna be fast forward. So my man, after all that stuff going on, at this point, Izuku comes charging towards Overhaul, going in there, and Overhaul's going on like, why can nobody see the bigger picture? I am trying to save the world, I am trying to help out humanity. Or he's like, I'm going to destroy this world to its very framework, getting rid of you diseased heroes and all that stuff. He's going off. Izuku's like, and Izuku then says a very Naruto-esque line. How can I... And the animation here is god tier at this point. This is when Bones unleashes the Sakugan. My god. Ugh. It's amazing to watch on full. So he's going in there. Izuku says, how can I call myself a hero if I can't save the small little girl right in front of me before he unleashes... I swear to God, Horikoshi must have been watching some fucking One Punch Man while he was writing this chapter, or he must have been reading the manga, because my man Izuku unleashes the consecutive normal punches. There's like 5 or 6, maybe even 10, huge fists coming right towards Overhaul the way, and they're like all in bluish, yellowish, greenish colors. And I love the fact that Izuku's eyes, his design when he goes all out one for all with his hair sticking up, everything looks so badass, by the way. I love it. So Izuku comes in there, he fires off those consecutive normal punches, and you'll just... Takes a second before Overhaul they rotation over and just see him blast off. Izuku lands some other amazing looking attacks. I love the shot where his face is covered up in like a shadow before it's revealed before he lands the final blow against Chisaki, and that is where the episode ends with Night Eye saying, I never saw this future. Like, I saw the future, what the future I saw was Izuku dying to protect Eri and Chisaki gets out of the way. But the future he sees right now with Izuku, with Overhaul laid out and Izuku victorious, he didn't see. Which makes us think that the future can indeed be changed. And that, my friends, is where the episode ends. Holy fuck, this episode was fucking awesome, man. 46 minutes is how long interview ended up taking. And man, for Hiroaka, I'm down to give it that length. So overall, I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10, of course, ladies and gentlemen. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe for new. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, flag, links on the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.